New entrepreneurs who start their business in a form of a private limited company have a doubt whether I can include my spouse, whether a husband or a wife, can I include them as a director in my company? In this video, we are going to discuss about as a private limited company, can you include your spouse? If you're including, what are the pros and cons? Let's discuss. Myself Rohini, your corporate lawyer from Lee Intelligentsia Law Firm. Let's understand what is a private limited company. A private limited company is a business structure where ownership is limited to a small group of people who are the shareholders, and the shares of this company is not available for public in the stock exchange. This type of company is recommended for a small and medium scale businesses, and this type of company is registered before Register of Companies. Now, what is the basic requirement of a private limited company? There has to be 2 shareholders and 2 directors. Shareholders can also be the directors of the company. And thirdly, you should have 1 lakh share capital to form the company. Lastly, you should also have an office address which is located in India. Now you can understand whenever a husband or a wife who wants to start a private limited company, they include their spouse. It's actually because there are 2 directors requirement in forming this company. But many people have a doubt whether it is legally valid to include their spouse in their company as one of the directors. There is no doubt about it. It's legally valid whether as a husband including your wife or as a wife including your husband into the company as a director is legally valid. But you have to notify these 2 instances where it might become a problem to include your spouse. Suppose the husband is forming a private limited company and he is including wife as a director. But in case if the wife is working with some other company, then in that case, including wife as a director in his own company will become a problem. The company where the wife is working, she might have signed a contract where the employer-employee agreement might state that she has to work only here and not become a part of any other organization, which also includes not becoming the director of any other company. In such cases, it becomes problematic when you're going to include your wife who is working in some other company. Second instance is if the husband and wife being a director of a company, if they are going to part ways or if they are going to take a legal divorce, in such cases, one of the spouse cannot forcefully forfeit the shares of an other partner. These are the 2 instances you have to keep in mind whenever you are including your spouse as a director in a company. But there are remedies for these 2 instances. What are they? Let's look into it. Whenever you are forming a private limited company and you want another director to be a part of it, you can include them as a dummy director, where you can include your wife or any third person by giving them the position of director with 1% shareholding. In an instance where one of the spouse is forming a company and he or she wants to include their spouse, in such cases, they can include their spouse as dummy directors. The position will be as director, but they will be holding only 1% of the company shares. The second instance is, instead of forming a normal private limited company with the same business structure, you can form 1% company. This 1% company is also registered before ROC, and where you need not have 2 directors. With only 1 director, you can form a company. And the compliance structure is also pretty much less as compared to a private limited company. So this video was intended for the people who wanted to include their spouses as directors in their company. So no doubt you can include, but you have to keep in mind the 2 instances and also the remedial measures which we have provided in the video. Like this, more useful videos we'll be posting in our channels for your businesses. Kindly subscribe to our channel. Myself Rohini, your corporate lawyer from Lee Intelligentsia Law Firm.